If you don't know what you really want to do, you saying no to things is not going to help you.
Exactly.
But say yes to things, right? Just say yes. Do you want to do this? Yes. As long as it doesn't harm you, do it. Go for it. My journey really started from learning about myself, loving myself, because when you do that, automatically you start thinking of who you want to be rather than what you want to do. I mean, only to focus on becoming the person you want to be, and then once you do that, all of a sudden you get to that path, but everything starts to feel more and more and more and more and more right. Consistency, like with everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're not consistent in business, you might not be consistent with your relationship. My main thing in my life, Hamza, has been consistency. Especially if you're making money, you need to understand how this money works. You either learn it or you have to work for the money for the rest of your life. If you want to live a better life, you need to change certain things in your life, right? You need to change yourself, you need to change your habits. And really that would be the best way to do it. You just need to stop thinking about what people think of you. Like, they do not sometimes, and you know what's so funny? Sometimes we're too focused on thinking what people are thinking of us, and they're not even thinking about us.
So I've always heard people say money can never buy anybody happiness. Macha, how like this you'll talk for everybody? Speak for yourself.
Welcome to the second episode of The Brown Hustle. Today we're discussing multiple things from saving money, financial literacy to self-doubts. Today we're with Donya. I'm Hamza, and let's go into this episode. Donya, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm a financial coach. I technically hold the licenses of a financial advisor, so I don't like calling myself a financial advisor just because I feel like a lot of people think of it as always just there to give products to people, but
just sell stuff.
Just sell stuff. For me, it's more on, the main thing that I always focus on is education. And I mean, you've seen my social media, it's all about, educating people on financial, finances, personal finance, all those sort of things. So for me, I call myself a financial coach because I educate people. I help them plan for their for their life, making sure that they have a financial game plan in place, and I also help them with the services and the products. So I do 3 people's job, as one person, really. Wow. That's what I do. Yeah, and I haven't been in Canada. I wasn't born and raised in Canada. I moved to Canada 6 years ago. I started getting into the industry about 2.5 years, being in Canada. So it's been over 3 years now. I've been trained by people who've been, in the industry for over 17 years.
Wow.
So I like to think that I'm, very fortunate to be around the right people. A lot of people would like to think that I'm a lot older, but I'm only 23. So.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think that's crazy. I mean, but yeah, how did this journey start? Like, what is your journey? What is your story?
My story all started from when I moved to Canada. So when I moved here, I was very, unfamiliar with everything. I had no idea how things work, how the economy works. I had no idea what a credit card was, what interest rates are. Like, I was so, in my own little bubble. So I had no idea. And my goal really was to become a doctor. Right? 3 years ago, if you would have asked me, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to become a doctor, because that's what I've been wanting to do since I was 6. So I really wanted to be a doctor because I thought that's the way for me to help people. But then when I moved here, I got introduced to different opportunities, and I realized that, oh my God, there's other ways of me being able to help people, right? There's different ways that I can do it. So finance really started from the day that my dad really sat down with this person, with an financial advisor, and this lady really helped out my dad with everything, setting up a will for him. That's what he was looking for. And then when she did that, she realized that we have certain products that are not really suitable for us. And then she said, can I ask who introduced you guys to this product, or who suggested this product? And then we sat down with the product, we went over everything. And it turns out that we were overpaying for a product that we could have had for cheaper for over 1.5 years. Now, we got lucky, because it was, early years, right?
But it for sure.
Imagine some people go pay for something 10, 20 years, and then they figure out that, oh shoot, I don't even have the right product, right?
Wow, that must, that's great. I think that's the situation for
that would have been crazy. Exactly. So for me, when I realized that, I'm like, oh my God, I signed these papers not knowing what it really
Mm,
means. My lack of information, my lack of knowledge is costing me money. If it has cost my dad money, it can cost me a lot of money in the future if I don't educate myself on it, right? And that's where I took the opportunity of just learning it, just to know how to handle my personal finance for
mm,
myself, how to work with money, how does it really work, how can I make it work for me. That's something that I got very interested in, like in terms of the education aspect of it, not really the business side of things. And the fact that I knew if I learn things, then I can teach it to other people and I can help other people as well. And everything started from there. So I just went through the journey, and after, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 months getting my licenses, sitting down with people, because I got into the field, I got to taste it, like feel how he feels.
like
And
the vibe and everything.
exactly, so it really made me feel like myself. I felt like I was doing something that I really wanted to do. I felt like, when people say I had a gut feeling.
Yeah, like your gut instinct and everything. That's what you meant, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. And that's what I felt. And it's crazy I say that, because some people say you just left school because of a gut feeling, but no, it was like way stronger than that. I've never felt about this how I feel about this, compared to anything else, right?
Mm.
I haven't felt about this. Um, what I'm trying to say is, like, this was
Yeah,
different.
you just felt it. You knew it was right, basically. Is what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
I'm guessing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
one of
was
those things.
different. Exactly. And just going through the whole journey after 3 years now, I can just say I've made the best decision ever. I've never been
Wow.
happier than I am. I got to learn so much about myself. I never knew that I really liked being a leader. I never knew that I liked
Mm.
being an entrepreneur. I never knew that I liked, helping other people in terms of the finances. Like, people tell me, "Oh, are you passionate about finance?" Not really. Like, I don't think it's the product side of the thing that really attracts me.
Yeah.
It's what it does for my people. It's what it does for the people that I sit down with, right?
How it changes their lives, I'm guessing.
Exactly. Like a year ago, I sat down with someone that was over $30,000. They had over $30,000 of debt, right? And I'm talking Canadian. So this person, with the plan that we did, we made for her. She was able to pay off everything in less than a year, and she
Wow.
also ended up
That's insane.
saving money. She also ended up saving money for herself, for her kid. And it just, like, that to me, after a couple of months, when this person came to me and said, you changed my life, I knew that
Yeah.
this is what I want to do, right? And that's what it's been. Like, that's really how I got into it. And I wouldn't ever want to go back. I think it was the best decision ever. I dropped out of school not because I wasn't smart, or not because I didn't like university. It
Yeah.
was just that it wasn't for me. It
Yeah.
wasn't what
Yeah.
I wanted. It wouldn't give me that lifestyle that I wanted.
I mean, yeah, I think everyone has different paths anyway. I think I saw on your IG story or your TikTok, it was like you dropped out of uni because of the opportunity. What opportunity are you like talking about there? Was it just a general sense, or was it like an opportunity like hit you in the face and you couldn't like miss out on it?
Um, I think it was really more so the fact that I came around the right people,
Mm.
and these people really made me feel like I was a part of a family. And obviously, I don't have my family here in Canada, so it's
You're from
it's
the US,
hard.
right? Originally. Or
I'm originally from Iran.
okay,
That's where
yeah.
I was born and raised, but I moved to Canada 6 years ago.
Wow.
So
So is your family still like they're in Iran, I'm guessing right now? Or
yeah,
how has that been? Like, because I know a lot of immigrant like people like you, like me myself included. I'm lucky
yeah,
that my parents are here, but my parents
yeah,
weren't so lucky. Their parents were obviously in Pakistan. So how was that
yeah.
experience for you?
It wasn't easy. The first 1 year to 2 years was very, very hard and challenging, because obviously I was missing my family a lot.
Mm,
And I never used to live on my own. I never used to handle a lot of things. But imagine you come to a new country, nobody. Your
yeah.
English is not even perfect. Like, I learned
Wow.
how I speak right now is because I learned it here,
That's insane.
right? So everything
You wouldn't
was kind
even
of,
know. That's crazy.
yeah, it was, everything was kind of stressful in the beginning, but all the stress that I went to, I went through, now it makes sense, right? It
Mm,
makes sense with where I'm going and what my goals are and what I'm trying to do. it all makes sense. And they always say, you are who you are because of everything that you've gone through in the past, right?
Yeah.
And I believe in that 1,000%. Because if I would have not gone through those challenges, I would have not been as independent as I am. I would have not been as strong
100%.
as I am. I would have not been absolutely okay with handling anything that really attacks me, right?
Yeah.
I might have, a little bit of a juggle. Obviously, I'm a human being, but I know how to push through things now because of all those challenges, family wise, work, business, health wise. I've gone through it all in the
Wow.
past couple of years.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it must have been crazy, a sudden jump from Iran with your parents to not knowing English, not knowing anyone. It must have
Yeah,
been insane. So, I mean, kudos to you there. I mean,
thank you.
it's clear that you found your path. What would you say to someone who's confused about life? They're like sitting there, they don't know what to do. They don't know they have no purpose right now. How would you tell them to find their path? What would they need to do?
So here's the crazy part. The reason why, I was holding my breath for a second is
Yeah.
because I'm trying to think of how I can put this in the best words possible. But really, there is no shortcut into other than really getting to know yourself first before anything else. And, um, you know, we have our Friday finance sessions, on our Instagram. We do the live,
Yeah.
and then we post that as the IGTV. So even the other day we were talking about it, and I've brought this up a couple of times because I know a lot of people even end up losing so much money because they don't know what they want to do, right? They
Mm,
jump from this career to that career, this degree to that degree, and they're still like, oh my god, I don't know what fulfills me. And
yeah.
that's because we're too focused on the type of job that we want to choose and the type of career and the type of income and the type of really position and career to choose for ourselves that would make everybody else and family happy, that we
Mm,
forget about focusing on what we truly want and who we are and what really aligns with us, right? What is
wow.
really in a
Yeah.
true alignment. um, and I don't want to say like I've figured it out. Obviously, I know there's going to be a lot of other things that is going to come to my plate later on. There's a
Yeah.
lot of opportunity out there, and when it
100%.
knocks, you just got to take it, right? If I always tell people, if you don't know what you really want to do, you saying no to things is not going to help you.
Exactly.
But say
100%.
yes to things, right? Just say yes. Do you want to do this? Yes. As long as it doesn't harm you, do it. Go for it, right? Because if I would have, said, "Oh, finance is not my thing," because it wasn't,
Mm,
or "Oh, I'm not a numbers person because I'm not," or
yeah.
"Oh, I'm not good at math because I'm not," I would have not been here today,
Yeah.
right? I
Um,
would have not had the amazing people that I have in my life, which, oh my, like, my girl today, I needed her help. She, I was telling about the challenge that I had. She
yeah.
dropped me off home, picked up my
Exactly. Real
passport, dropped me
friends.
off another place, dropped me another place. Like, I know not a lot of people have people like that in their life
No, they
that would
don't.
drop anything for
Mm,
you, right? So if I would have said no to this, I would have not been where I am. I would have not known who I am. I would have not been as confident as I am because I wasn't a confident person before. I would have not been so sure about who I really want to become because I wasn't before. And I think my journey really started from learning about myself, loving myself,
mm,
because when you do that, automatically you start thinking of who you want to be rather than what you want to do.
wow.
That's the most
That's a good
important
point.
thing,
Yeah.
right? And they ask you, like, when you're little, little kids, most of the times they ask you, oh, what do you want to do in the future, right? What job do you want to do? And some people say doctor, some people say engineer, some people say teacher. But like, why not who do you want to be? Like, what fulfills you, and instead of thinking of that income and that career that fulfills
Mm,
everybody else but you.
yeah, I mean, I think you've hit a good point there. I mean, there's some, I think, like a lot of communities, like South Asian communities, Arabic communities, they're
Yeah.
very heavy on the doctor, the engineer. So if there's a kid watching this or hearing this, how would he muster the courage to tell his parents that that's not what he wants to do? Because a lot of parents are strict on that. I mean, they've
Mhm.
sacrificed a lot for us, but they are strict in certain departments. So how can that person muster the courage?
It really depends. And I'm pretty sure, knowing that you're very into entrepreneurship, Gary Vee, right?
Yeah.
What does he talk about all the time? Just do your own thing. And sometimes you can't really stand by some certain things because
Yeah.
if your family is supporting you right now, you probably wouldn't really be, standing up to the first and be like, I want to do what I want to do. But the more independent you work on your own thing, you do your own thing. Once you become more independent, you can just plan on how to maybe even move out if they don't let you to become who you want to be. Like, see what I agree, and some people may agree with it, some people may not, but I just say what I think is right and what has been good for me.
Yeah.
My dad never forced me to become a doctor. Like, it wasn't them pressuring me to become a doctor
It's
at
just
all.
you wanted to be it. Yeah.
I wanted to be. My mom, however, though, because growing up, I kept saying I want to be a doctor. She always had this dream that I'm going to become a doctor one day. And when I told her, I don't think that's really what I want to do, it was a little bit shocking, right? And imagine my first year when I went full time into this, I didn't even tell anybody I'm not going to school.
No
I
way,
told them-
really? Oh my days.
I had to hide it for a little time because
That's
I
insane.
wasn't even, I wasn't even sure what the hell I wanted to do, But
Yeah.
I knew that the best thing for me to do was to take that year off from school so I could figure it out. I didn't want to go to university, pay so much money, waste my time, waste my energy being in two places where I don't really know what I wanted. Right.
Wow.
So when I took that year off, the second semester, I said, you know what, Dad, I'm very under a lot of pressure, so I'm not going to go to university for this semester. Okay. So nobody really knew.
Yeah. How did he react to that? Because I mean,
he was kind of okay with it because like he knew when we moved here, everything was so pressured on me with everything, learning English, figuring out how to get to university, passing my, really first year of university. So for the second year, that's what I did, right? I took a year off. Okay. And then I told my mom, and she's like, but what about everybody else? What are they going to say? You came to Canada to study and now you don't want to do that. Because my mom came here to visit me. And obviously she still lives back home. So she's very, influenced by what everybody else thinks.
Community, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I don't, I'm sorry, excuse my language. Can I say
Yeah, no, go for it. Yeah, go for it. You can say whatever.
I don't give a damn. Like, I don't give a damn what other people think of me because they're not going to leave my life. Right? They're not going to go to that job that I might hear for the rest of my life every day. They don't do that. I would have to do that if I don't choose what I want. Right? And I had to sit down with my mom. And I remember we went to Dubai together because I wanted to spend some time with them. And when we were in the bus, I sat down with her and I said, I want to talk to you about something. This is what's bothering me. I'm not really sure if I want to go to school. I absolutely love what I do with this. It makes me happy, it makes me fulfilled. I know I can build something out of this. Just trust me. Just give me two more years. Just give me 2 more years. I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove it to you that I can, I can build something from this. And she said, I trust you with everything that you're saying, but are you sure? Like, why don't you do your university as well? Why don't you just go for school as well? I'm like, I don't want my brain being in two places. It's just not me. I want to focus on one thing. I want to get this done. This is what makes me happy. And then she said, like, what about other people? Where those things came up.
Typical lines, yeah.
Yeah. And I said, okay, let me ask you a question. If you were to choose between me being super, super happy and between me being a doctor, which one would you choose? And she said, obviously, I want you to be truly happy.
Happy, yeah.
I said, this is what makes me happy. And then from then, she never said anything about it. She said, okay, you know what you're doing. I trust you. I believe in you. Wow. There's a reason why, I told you, okay, go, I let you come to this foreign country, right? Not having anybody around you because I trust you. I trust you based on the decision you make. So I had to have that talk, right?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I would say a couple of months back, I had a little bit of a, dip, not business wise really, but like health wise, I wasn't doing super well. Like from January, well, pretty much from September, but I kept pushing myself.
Sorry to
right?
hear that. Yeah,
it's okay. It
happens,
I'm good, thanks God. I'm good now. But from January to March, I had a lot of challenges going to the hospital, emergency every month. And that was bringing me down. It was affecting my mood. It was affecting my energy. I didn't want to talk to no one. I wasn't feeling my best at all. But I showed up every day. I pushed myself. And that's not something that I'm trying to suggest or recommend or advertise.
Yeah. I mean, health is.
Don't get me wrong. Health is very important. And I learned my lesson. But during that time, because I was very down, I started doubting everything, right? I'm like, oh my God, am I even doing the right thing? Like, I know that something, at the bottom of my heart says just like, keep going. Something good is going to come. But then the energy that I didn't have, those mental challenges with doubt, like everything was coming in. And I remember I kind of bursted into tears the night before I speak to my mom, and I sent her voice messages and I said, I don't know what's going on with me. I miss you guys. This. Like this, all of these things is happening. I'm having a lot of challenges with my health. Like I don't know what to do. I'm tired. I just started crying. And my poor mom, I felt
Yeah,
so
it must have
terrible
been.
after, sending those voice messages, because I'm like, she woke up the next day, and because our
Yeah.
timing is different, so she kept calling me. She was worried
Oh,
that why was I crying? She thought something worse happened, like worse than what I was saying happened. And then the next day, literally, as I woke up, I talked to her. I was on a call with her, and I was telling her these things. I'm like, I don't know what to do. What's going on? She's like, listen. And this was my first time that I heard my mom encouraging me for what I do.
wow. That must have been a
And
blessing there.
it
Motivation
was.
must have been crazy.
So she said, hey, listen, you've been only 3 years in this business. You've been rocking it. You've been getting promotion. You've been growing. Everybody's proud of you. I'm proud of you. Your dad is proud of you. It's been only 3 years, Danya. Think of it as the same way if you would have gone to university for being a doctor. You would have had to study for 15 years, no? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. She's like, think of it as you have to do this for the next 15 years to build that one thing that you want.
Wow. No,
I'm like, oh my gosh, she's
So,
so right. Right? I have such a smart mom, but really it made me happy. I'm like, oh my god, she believes in me now. Like because I've proved it to her, because with my consistency, right? Like I have my dad sometimes telling me, why do you wake up 5 a.m. in the morning? Like you don't have to. Or like, why
wow.
don't you just sleep in? I'm like, no. I have to get this ready before I go to the office, because I need to be I need to be ready for any type of challenges that comes in.
I mean,
And
yeah, I think that's crazy. How do people actually deal with self-doubts? I'm sorry to cut off you.
it's
Yeah.
hard. It's okay. No. It's very hard. It's gonna come in. Like it's gonna come in. No matter how much of a strong person you're gonna be, no matter how much you're gonna grow in your life, self doubts are gonna be always there. The only difference will be in your life is when you become that higher power of yourself that you have within, and you trust that more. You just don't give power to those self-doubts anymore. It's not that it's not there. I still hear those voices every freaking day, right? Especially the days that I really don't want to do something, but I'm like, no, I have to do it. Or I get to do it, right? The right way of saying it.
Yeah.
So it's always there. It's just a matter of us training our minds, and focusing on what we truly, truly want, and becoming that person that we truly, truly want. And when you focus on becoming the person you truly, truly want to be, everything else, all of a sudden, hands in
Aligns.
hands, right? Like, if I were to tell you this, like today, right? I was talking to one of my girls, one of my business partners, and I was saying, oh, I really want to do some, in-person events, like where does this whole lockdown and restriction thing is going to go away? Let's do, let's run some in-person event. Let's have people come in.
Yeah.
And then literally, I would say 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes later, somebody messages me that I've been on their workshop online before. Hey, Dania, I wanted to invite you to our event
That's
for July
insane.
25th.
That's crazy.
I'm like, oh my god! Or the other day, I'm like, I really want a mastermind group. I need to set up a mastermind. How can I create this mastermind group? I set it on Sunday, on Tuesday, okay. And this was way before I become more and more in align with who I am meant to be, right? 2-3 days later, somebody messaged me, hey, Dania, I've been looking through your stuff. I'm actually creating a mastermind group. And I'm not lying. Like, I can show you guys the messages, but like literally, it all of a sudden comes to you. And I think that's really what truly,
That's
do you believe in law of
insane.
attraction?
Me personally, I believe in the elements of it, not so much
Okay.
of the theory. But I mean,
Okay.
we can discuss that after. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, like, it really depends. Some people believe in the law of attraction. Some people say God. Like, everybody has different, their own beliefs. But I think all it is for you to become. I mean, only to focus on becoming the person you want to be, and then once you do that, all of a sudden you get to that path, that everything starts to feel more and more and more and more and more right. Like if you would have asked me 3 years ago, I would have seen myself here.
Yeah.
No, like I would have not, right? I probably doubted myself a lot of times. I was down so many times. I would cry at times, right? Saying, God, please help me. Help me make this work. Help me be able to help other people. That's all I wanted. And now like I am where I really truly want to be. And I always tell this to people. You are when you meant to be, even though you're not where you want to be. So you are where you're meant to be, and all you gotta do is focusing on where you want to go, and that's it. That's really like that's how I simplify everything for myself. I am where I need to be at this current moment. I was meant to be on a call with Hamza from UK, like London. Who would have thought we would have met,
Insane.
right?
I mean, I think you mentioned as well that before I actually asked you to come on, you were thinking you wanted to go on a podcast. You were thinking you needed to do something like that. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
craziness. It's craziness.
Yeah.
How do people actually stay in line with their goals? Like you mentioned that sometimes you feel like self doubt. How do people stay in line with their goals? If I want to go hit this, how do I do that? How do I make sure I'm on the right journey, on the right path?
Three important keys in order for someone to really become the person they want to be and become successful. And I was talking about this to my partner as well the other day.
Yeah,
Is number one, consistency,
consistent.
right? Consistency, like with everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're not consistent with your workouts, you're not going to be consistent in business. If you're not consistent in business, you might not be consistent with your relationship. If you're not, you know, everything goes hand in hand, right? Because it shows who you are. So I think one of the most important things, or one of the, yeah, like one of my most not, it's not
Key
a blessing.
principles,
I think
maybe.
I think I chose for myself to be this way, right? Like nobody was really
Push it. Yeah.
born with it, right? With consistency. But my main thing in my life, Hamza, has been consistency.
Keep it
Like I've
consistent.
been freaking consistent with everything, with my business, with I fell off in places, don't get me wrong, right? Again, we're all humans, we're learning. But I got back on the track again, consistent. And that's what it is. Every time you feel like you're falling off from that, you know, that path that you have for yourself, those goals that you want to get into, check in with yourself. What is it that you should be doing that you're not doing, and become consistent with it? You need to do repetitive things every day. If that's your morning routine, if that's I don't know, some people want to like make a lot of money in their business and they have to make, for example, 100 calls a day. Do that every freaking day, right? And they always say go on a 90-day cycle, because throughout that 90-day, you will definitely get the results that you're really looking for. So I would say consistency, discipline,
Yeah.
mastering here. Oh my,
Mastering the
like this
mind.
is the most important thing to master, right?
How do people master the mind? How what's the process in that?
You need to put time aside. You really need to put time aside. Like before, I used to have a lot of challenges dealing with people, and I'm like, oh my god, like how am I gonna learn how to deal with people if I can deal with myself and my brain,
Yeah.
right? Like if I can't control the thoughts that are coming in, how am I gonna be able to handle other people and how they behave and how they, you know, react, and how I'm gonna react to it if I haven't mastered here? So you need to have a sit, and every person like that I've been following, every successful person, I'm so far beyond, you know, like I'm so far from being a very successful person.
Yeah.
But for where I am, I've been just following on a lot of, you know, following a lot of people's a lot of successful people's habits,
Their
right?
principles.
Like, yes, if you look at a lot of successful people, a lot of them wake up 4:35 a.m. in the morning. Why? One of the best times for you to learn things, one of the best times for you to work on here. So every morning when I get up at 5:30 a.m., I'm a part of, and you don't have to do it alone. Become a part of a, you know, community, or become a part of a accountability group. because it gets hard when you have to push yourself every freaking day, not having any sort of motivation. But because I love these people, because I'm, now used to this group of people, I'm looking forward for every Monday to Friday to go through these 5:30 a.m. calls. So I get on the call, we read the book, Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just say that's insane. How did you find these group of people like 5:30 a.m.? How did that go happen?
I was so sure about what I really wanted in my life. I was thinking of getting up 5 a.m. in the morning for the longest time, and it just came to me.
Wow,
It just came to me. So I met a girl online. This girl came on my online event. We became friends. This girl invited me to this 5:30 a.m. and I've been on the calls ever since, which was end of March.
How has that been? How has it been waking up at 5:30?
Oh my, it's been a blessing. Like I get to get so many things done by the time people get up at 9 a.m. Right? Like I get up 5:30, I read my books, I'm on top of it, and then I do my journaling, then I do my affirmations, then I do my workout, shower, get ready, come to the office. I'm already ready to go. Who challenges at me? I'll be fine. I'll handle it.
You got the mindset there. Yeah.
Yes, because I've been consistent with it, and it wasn't the same in the beginning. It was so freaking hard. Like for the first 2 weeks, I was pushing myself to wake up.
Yeah.
After that, nope. My brain will jump itself, like, oh my God, it's 5:20. Like I would get up, right? Out of a sudden, out of nowhere. And I would just keep going at it. So these calls have been a blessing to my life. It came to my life at the right time. And I really believe that things do come to your life at the right time. God's timing is the best timing, right? 1,000%. So I definitely believe in that. And these calls have helped me a lot because they kept me consistent. Accountable, consistent. Accountability, consistency. So important. If you don't want to fall off, if you really want to be on track for who you want to be, you need to have a certain set of habits to do every day. Every day. No excuses. Every day.
Consistency.
Right? There's days that my body, I don't want to work out because I'm tired and I'm sore. I do a stretch for 30 or 45 minutes instead of a workout for 45 minutes. But I still do something.
Yeah, just because we need listen to your body, obviously, yeah.
Of course, you always listen to your body. You always, obviously, health first. For me now, I would drop anything for my health. Before it wasn't this way, but I had to learn it. Health is so important. If I'm on top of my health, I'm on top of my mindset game. I'm on top of my business. I'm on top of everybody else. And I'll be able to help other people too. But if I'm not good, I cannot help you out of anybody else.
Wow. Yeah.
That's 100%. Health-wise, mindset-wise, whatever it might be. So those would be my tips that I think would be very helpful for them to do.
I mean, I think that was very helpful. Let's talk about financial literacy. How do people, normal everyday people, start the journey to become financially literate? Because everyone's got busy. Loads of people have 9 to 5s, got other priorities. So how do they actually start this journey? Is there any books you would recommend? Any courses? Not like $600 courses, please, but any normal ones.
I get it. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm sure anybody out there can find certain services that are complementary.
Yeah.
They exist. You just gotta look for them. I understand that people are busy, but I need to understand we just running, working to make money. To make money to do what? What is that for? Do you have a goal for it? Do you have a plan for it? I don't think people are thinking about it like that. We just, sometimes I come across people that are like, oh, I just haven't had any time to put aside for my finance and this and that. And, okay, but you running after money for the rest of your life would sound better to you. And I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm saying I get that we all busy, but anybody can put aside an hour of their week for their finances. Especially if you're making money, you need to understand how this money works. You either learn it or you have to work for the money for the rest of your life.
Exactly. You can either, I think there was a quote, you can either work for understand money or become a slave to money. And
absolutely. Right?
I think. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And I 100% agree with that. One of the main reasons why I got into it. because I knew if I don't know how it works, I would have to work for it for the rest of my life, and I didn't want that, right? Money is something that I have power over. I don't want money having power over me. And you won't feel like that. You won't feel like having power over money if you don't understand how money works or what it is. Like I feel like sometimes people don't even know what it is. There are a lot of resources. There's a lot of good successful people with money and finance that you can find on YouTube. You can Google. But I would say best thing to do is really find someone. If they charge, then find someone that is super affordable. If they don't charge, to sit down with you, have a consultation, um, put a time for a consultation in terms of your finances, set up a plan. Like, I think we all getting it wrong, thinking about having products and not having a plan. You need to have a plan before having products. We're doing it the other way around,
Yeah.
and that's why it doesn't work, right? It's like pretty much I think of people having products really and not having a plan like this. Imagine you having all the ingredients you need to cook a meal, but not knowing how to cook a meal and not having a recipe. Is that going to work?
When you talk about products, do you mean like financial products? Is that what you
Financial products, right? I'm sure most of the people have. I don't know what they call it actually in UK. But here we have like a tax-free saving account. We have an RSP. We
Oh
have like
yeah. We have
right?
our own,
Those
yeah,
tax
yeah.
sheltered account, let's call it, right? It's very important for us to learn how these work and how we can make it work, in the best way possible for us and in the benefit for us to take
Yeah.
advantage of it. It's very important to learn that, and you probably wouldn't be able to handle everything on your own if you don't sit down with someone. Oftentimes we try to figure out everything on our own
When it's
because
easier with someone else. Yeah.
right, and it's because like I don't know if I should trust him or not. Well, give the person a chance to grab, to earn your trust. See if you can trust them. With us not giving giving a chance to people, how are we gonna know, right?
Exactly.
I've had clients that I would sit down with and like, but it's hard because it's money and it's this. Well, if your money situation has been working out for you so far, then keep doing it. But if it
it's not,
hasn't, then it's time to sit down with someone who knows more, right?
Yeah.
Or who can at least organize things for you, put things into a structure for you. Most of the people are lacking that structure.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in agreement with you there. Too many people, I think, try doing it themselves instead of actually
Yeah.
looking to other people. I mean, is there any books though, like for someone just trying to get their feet wet, like for financial literacy, that you would recommend?
One would be, oh my God, Rich Dad Poor Dad book, like
Oh,
number
I love
one.
that book. That's the one, like the first book I read. Changed my
Yes.
life. I can't lie.
Same with me. Changed my life. I am where I am into the business right now because of
book.
that.
Yeah.
Because of that book. Another one would be Think and Grow Rich. Another
I read
one
that
would
too,
be I haven't really read this one, but I've heard good things about it. 100 Steps to Financial Independence. What was the other one? Not How Money Works, but
I think there's a book like there's a thick
Hold
green
on.
book or something about.
I have a
how money
list
works.
of book actually. Let me see if I can get that for you right away.
Yeah, that'd be
Right
sick.
here. Yeah, there we go. Books to read. There's somewhere right here. No. Oh, You Were Born Rich. Bob Proctor. Amazing person.
Excellent book. Okay, we'll add that to the
A Happy Pocket Full of Money. What else? I've seen some. But those would be the main ones that it just comes to me
that
right
you would just
now.
recommend. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great selection of books. I'm definitely going to.
Oh, and The Science of Getting Rich. Did I say that one? The Science of Getting
I
Rich.
think that's another one. That Science of Getting Rich. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's a good 4 or 5 to get you started there. I mean, what are some basic tips though, without obviously going into crazy detail? Just some basic information people should know about finance and how to be financially literate. Like, are there any golden tips that have just stuck with you throughout your journey?
Yep, definitely. First things first, have a budget, right? You need a budget sheet, 1,000%. I know, we don't like it. Like, it's too much work and numbers are overwhelming. Definitely, I get it. I get you. I still get overwhelmed with my numbers at times.
Yeah.
I'm still a human being, right? I'm not a robot.
Exactly. I mean,
So it might be overwhelming at times, but when you write down things, it just makes more sense, right? When you write down things, and you come to the picture saying, oh my God, I just spent $1,000 last month on food.
Just checking yourself, exactly.
Right? And you're like, how did I do that? Because it's so easy for us to just tap, 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 tap everywhere we go, right? And spend money. Like we don't really, feel that money in our hands anymore. So
Yeah, it's just
so
cards and
easy.
digital. Exactly.
So easy to spend money. So you gotta keep track of your money. You either keep track of your money, plan for your money, or your money is gonna plan for it itself.
Wow. Yeah,
Right? Like that's something I've learned. You have to, because how many times have you had maybe an extra amount of money in your account and you never planned for it, and your car broke down and you had to pay it.
exactly.
You had to pay into it.
Yeah.
Or like something came up and you had to pay into it. It comes up. So if we don't have a plan, so plan before anything. Then budgeting, so important. The base of everything, the foundation of everything, and I've mentioned it in my Instagram so many times, is having the right amount of income protection. A good amount of coverage for life insurance, right? Some people believe in it, some people don't. The people who don't believe in it, I believe, don't have the right knowledge or information, so that needs to be fixed. And once you do understand it, right, it's not something that is forever. Don't let anybody fool you into that, please. You don't need it for the rest of your life. All you need is having a specific amount of coverage for a specific amount of years up until there is a need for it, right? So insurance is basically a way for you to have temporary wealth up until you build your own wealth. That's really it. So you gotta make sure that you have the right amount of coverage for the right amount of years, right? And insurance was really meant for you to have temporary wealth up until you build your own wealth, so you don't have to have it forever. Another important thing I would say is having an emergency fund, right? I literally posted about it today on my Instagram as well. Very, very important. A lot of people think, you were asking me some key points. So a lot of people think paying off their debt would be the most important thing to focus on. Wrong. The most important thing for you to focus on is, number one, having that income protection, because if something was to go wrong, at least your family can grab that money and handle everything else, right?
Yeah.
But if they don't have it,
then
it's gonna be messy, right? So that's a number one. Number two is having that emergency fund, because no matter how hard you're gonna work, right, to pay off that debt, if you have no emergency fund saved up, let's say you were to pay off that credit card of $2,000, right? You paid it off, right? You just paid it off, no problem. You got rid of it. But if something was to come up again and you have no savings, no emergency fund for that to pay for it, you're gonna use that credit card again, and hello, we're back into debt. Vicious cycle, back into debt, out of debt, back into debt, out of debt.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
people keep doing this, not knowing.
What would you say to the people who are like, they've been told that investing, savings are not the way to go, and then they hear about an emergency fund and they're like, why would we save money when you told us to invest? Because I've had one of my friends say that. So I mean, what would you say exactly to that?
Great question. I really like that. Emergency fund, because we never, the name is on it, we never know when it's going to happen. And if you were to put that emergency fund into an growth or an aggressive or a high risk investment or fund, and then let's say at the time when you need it, the market is down and that money's not going to be enough, does that make sense? Right? It doesn't. So you need to put that money somewhere. I'm not saying put it somewhere that's not going to have any sort of growth. Have it somewhere that at least beats the inflation. Like, I don't know how it really, again, works in UK.
Yeah, but, I think the inflation rate here is around 1.7%.
Okay, lucky you guys. Here is 3.7% right now.
That's insane.
Right? And I'm like on average 2.73%, but right now it's 3.7%. So if I'm getting that 1 to 2% at the bank, that money doesn't add up in terms of my, in terms of the inflation. 0 to 2% is what I get on a bank in a saving account, and then interest rate is 2.7%. Like, I'm already losing money, right? So very important to put your money into bonds, the money market, because you're gonna need that money. An emergency fund should not be invested into anything high risk. Just does not make sense.
Completely safe,
right? Has to be safe. But other than that, you budget. So 3 to 6 months of your living expenses or your income is what you really need to have into that emergency fund. Once you have that, yes, sure, focus on putting your money anywhere else, right? Have that aside and focus on growing your money into different accounts, no problem. So that would be my answer to that.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a great response. Another one, another curveball question to throw at you. People say, why should we worry about this? Why not just enjoy our life right now?" Like, I think you see it all the time on people's Instagram and the comments are like, "Why should I live like this? I just want to enjoy my life. Like, I don't want to live wealthy like when I'm at 60." What would you say to that?
You don't have to get wealthy when you're 60. There's different ways that you can become wealthy now if you want to.
Yeah.
Do you have the discipline to work that hard for it?
Mm,
That's one thing I would say. And another thing is you don't have to. Nobody told I would never tell my client you have to save this amount of money. You
yeah.
have to do that. You
Yeah.
don't have to. But if you want a good life, if you want a worry free life when it comes to finances, you need to have some sort of structure, my friend.
Yeah, I agree.
No
I
matter
mean,
what,
yeah,
right? You need to
exactly.
have some sort of structure. Have your structure, have everything, set up and focus on enjoying life. But this should also be an enjoyable journey, I think, right? Like
Mm,
sometimes I feel like we get too caught up with trying to chase that wealth that we completely forget of living life
yeah, there's
now,
got to
and
be a
that's not
balance.
right,
Mm,
right? Because those are the people that at the end of the day they get to that wealth and they feel miserable because they never enjoyed the journey all along.
yeah.
So you don't have to. Like if somebody really says that, I'm like, no, I don't have to. If you're happy with the way your life is working out, keep doing that. But if you want to change something, if you want to live a better life, you
Yeah,
need to change certain things in your life, right? You need to change
yeah.
yourself. You need to change your habits. And really, that would be the best way to do it.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I agree with you. There's no point, I think, enjoying life now when you're at 30 and you're living broke. I mean, there's no enjoyment in that. But another reason you mentioned the balance. How do you find the balance? Because I for myself find it hard finding the balance between work and life. And like, how do you even do that? How do you do that? How do you recommend people do that? Is that something you struggle with too, or?
I haven't found no balance in my life, to be
Oh
honest.
wow, okay.
There would never be such a thing as a balance.
Okay.
And I think we all getting it twisted trying to find that balance, and then we think if we don't have balance in our life, that means we're doing something wrong. Nobody has a balance in their life. There's
Yeah.
always something they have to deal with. If that's money, if that's health, if that's relationship, family, friends, whatever it might be, there is always something in everybody's life going on. Even if everything else is right, something will be still, make you juggle a little bit in life.
Mm,
And that's life. You just gotta
right.
accept it, right? It's just life. There's no such a thing as balance for me. Like there's times that I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm running out of time. Maybe I should
Yeah.
even get up at 4 a.m. in the morning because
Damn. Oh my god. Yo, you gotta rise at
I
4
want to
a.m.
handle it. I'm like, maybe I should do that, but I'm like, no, then I'm gonna be tired. I'm not gonna have enough energy to put into my team, to put into my clients, blah blah blah. So I'm still juggling around that myself,
Mm,
but I am definitely in a better place than I was 4 or 5 months ago because now I have a better structure. So one thing that I find it has been helpful for me is really writing down, like kind of micromanaging my schedule,
mm.
like writing down from this time to this time what I'm going to be doing, this time to this time what I'm going to be doing the night before, and then the next day I already know what I need to do, and all I got to do is just follow that and check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark, right? And that has helped me a lot because it has helped me get a lot of things in one day that I would have not get done before because I would be too stressed thinking about what I need to do.
Yeah, procrastinating and whatnot too.
So, and a lot of people say, but our brain is very smart. Shouldn't we use our brain? Why do we need to write it down? Yes, but your brain is also handling so many things. Don't exhaust it even more. Write it down on a piece of paper. Make it easy for yourself.
What would you say to the people who say they don't want to live like that? 7:10, 7:30 workout, 8 o'clock to 8:10 meeting. They don't want to live like robots. But what would you say to that?
They wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah.
Is that a question? Um, I think the only people would have a problem with doing that is they haven't figured out what works for them.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Some people are not just the right, they just don't like working out in the morning. They like to work out in the evening or
Leaving
afternoon
sounds,
or at
yeah.
night, right? For me, that works with my schedule because I know that I'm not going to have time during the day. So I just get it out of my way in the morning.
Yeah.
Because when I come home, I just want to sleep and get ready and, do a little bit of maybe mindful work and just sleep and get up 5 a.m. in the morning again tomorrow, the day after. And I'm not crazy, guys. Don't get me wrong. I do sleep in on Saturday, Sundays. Okay,
Oh,
I sleep
whoa,
in like
whoa,
up
whoa.
until 7,
Damn.
right? Like
Whoa,
from
till
Monday.
7. Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. It's
That's
not that much of
crazy.
a sleep in still. Like I
That's
sometimes tell
crazy.
myself I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow, and then I literally wake up,
Just
like my
wake up
eyes
naturally.
open at
Yeah.
7 a.m. At first, I wake up at 5, and then I go back to sleep, and I sleep till 7. But that's it. That's the max for me.
That's insane.
That's all I
That's
can
actually
do.
insane. What time do you go sleep, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh my. I've been working on. Sometimes I do sleep very late, but as long as I sleep for 5:30, 6 hours, like I can operate
Yeah,
very
okay,
well.
that's
Anything
insane.
less than 5 hours messes up with my mood, and not my mood really, but my
But
energy,
yeah,
I would
yeah,
say.
energy. Yeah, facts for
But I'm
sure.
working on it. So now I'm working on sleeping around 11:30,
Mm,
like latest, so I can really be all
yeah.
good to go for the next day. Because for me, I my brain doesn't even function well after 11 p.m.
Wow, really
Right?
just
Like
tiredness.
it
Yeah.
just shuts off. It's like, okay, ready to go to
Yeah.
bed. Let's go. So that would be really that. But in terms of your question, I think people need to figure out what works for them. However, there's a lot of things that I really don't want to do as well,
Yeah.
and that would be especially really in the beginning, like when I didn't have any sort of routine.
Mm,
I felt like I was pushing myself a lot of times, but once you get to in a habit of it, you become like I'm obsessed with my routine. I really
mm.
am. I'm waiting every day to sleep and get up at that 5:30 and go throughout my routine. I love it.
I think that's the powerful vision, right?
It's like I'm obsessed with it. If I don't have it one day, I feel like I'm missing out on something. So
Yeah.
it's not for everybody, but you got to see what works for you. However, I would say if that's something that you can still put into your schedule, because that would be the best way for you to do it, to get it done in the morning and get up earlier in the morning, because that would help you get a lot of things done in during the day and have a more productive day. Then stop being a little bit lazy and just get to
Mm,
work, right? So
yeah.
we're not going to have everything that we want at the same time. I cannot
Exactly.
want to become a billionaire thinking that I can sleep in up until 12 in the afternoon. It doesn't work, right?
You gotta put the
Everybody
work in.
else, and there's always someone out there doing better than you, right?
Yeah.
Not saying that to compare yourself to them, but make sure that you're on top of your game, whatever that is that you want to get to the life. If you're the type of person that is okay with whatever you currently have in your life and you don't want to have any sort of growth, then keep doing that. Keep doing, keep having your routine because it's working for you. But
Mm.
if you want something way more out of your life, if
You gotta put
you're
the
thinking
work
of
in.
something extraordinary, you got to become extraordinary, right? And
Mm,
that would mean doing things that not everybody would do because not a lot of people feel like it,
yeah. I think
right?
that's brilliant advice. Yeah.
So
Um.
you just got to figure out what you want. And once you do that, you got to figure out what you need to do to get to that. And all you got to do then would be being consistent with just doing that. I think
Yeah.
that's the best formula I've learned
I
so
think that
far.
no, I think it is. I mean, if you want to be great, you can't just be good, right? I think that's exactly what it comes
Absolutely.
down to. I mean,
Absolutely.
let's talk about more. I think you're really, like, honestly, you're killing it with your social media, with like
Thank
your
you.
client business and whatnot. Like what I've seen from it anyway. So I know also women as well. Like I've had a few of my friends speak to me. They're like, it's quite hard for them to even think about going in business just because of what the community would say and just what they think some obstacles they'll go through. Is there any specific advice you'd want to give them?
The world is changing.
Hmm.
The world is really changing. If you look at
Hmm.
a lot of entrepreneurs now, they're becoming more and more and more women.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women entrepreneurs now, and that's because I think enough is enough. We were, women were quiet for a lot of years. Even up to this point, there's still not everything being fair
Yeah.
and
100%.
equal, right? It's not still equal, and a lot of people want to step out of that and they want to create the life they want. In order to do that, you got to put yourself out there. Stop thinking about what other people would think of you. Um, Once you stop caring about what other people think of you, your life becomes so joyful, like
Mm,
so peaceful,
mm,
because you just do that thing that makes you happy and you don't give a damn about what other people are going to think about you or how they're going to look at you. And it's funny because once you do that, actually, I've started to notice that more people would get attracted to you as well. They're like this just
Free game.
joy. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
just this joy that you will have, this glow that you will have, that more people will see it in you. They're like, damn, you're doing something right. What is it? And I think a lot of it started from me thinking that I just don't give a damn about what you think of me.
Don't care. How do people get to that stage of they're like, yo, I don't care what you think?
Learning about yourself, loving yourself, knowing your worth, setting boundaries, right? Understanding your standards, understanding what type of circle of people you want to surround yourself with. I think a lot of us are just in the wrong circle.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I agree. I think who you hang around with is who you are. And
Absolutely. And I've had people that started a business with me, and because they were too scared of what other people are think of them, and because they were too scared of losing their friend, they stopped it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? If your friend are going to leave you because you started a business that you wanted to become a better person and you created something for yourself, are they really your friend?
Exactly. Facts.
Right? Like, I definitely don't have the same friend that I had when I started getting to my journey, because it's just not supposed to be that way. People come to your life and go for a reason. Some are for a reason, some are for a season, some are for a lesson, right? We've heard this so many times.
Yeah.
And you just need to stop thinking about what people think of you. Like, they do not sometimes. And you know what's so funny? Sometimes we're too focused on thinking what people are thinking of us, and they're not even thinking about us. They're just too busy living their life.
Yeah, exactly. They have their own problems.
They have their own things to do, right?
Yeah.
Really mastering here, really learning yourself, understanding who you want to become, understanding what comes with that. Everything, everything in life that you want in life, you have to face some consequences for it, right? And for me was to get out of the person that I was, maybe losing some people even around me, that I don't really care. Not to say that I'm cold-hearted, not to say that I don't care about them. It's just that I don't care that they're not in my life anymore, because I wasn't serving them and they weren't serving me. So what's the point?
Exactly. There's no win. I mean, how do people cut people off like that? Like, is it one of those things that you just have to be cold, or is it you just distance yourself, work on yourself, and slowly?
No, you don't have to be cold. No. I'm so good with all of those people that I just mentioned. Like, I still talk to them at times, hi and bye. I haven't. It's not like that. It's not that I ignore them. It's not that I block them on my Instagram. I didn't do anything like that. It's just that I focus so much on myself and becoming the person I want to become, and focusing on myself becoming so strong mentally, and just really becoming mentally tough and strong, that even if I had them and their opinions, I wouldn't let it affect me.
It would, yeah, it would just be, yeah.
And I heard this from my mentor the other time as well, and she said we just got to create a bubble around us, that when we go around, we're careful about what type of energy we get, what type of opinions we get, and how we're gonna let it affect us, and should we really let it affect us? Does the opinion of that person that really matters? Do they pay your bills? And I literally made a reel about this on my Instagram too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you pay your automobile that way?
Right? Like, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bill? Like, because you cannot live your life for other people. If you do that, no matter what you do in life, you're never going to be satisfied with yourself, because you're never going to become that person you want, because you were too scared of becoming that person. One, and two, you're not going to even be able to give to those people around you as much as you want, and you're going to be too focused on pleasing these other people that you forget about pleasing yourself. And at the end, you're the one having that emptiness inside.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think we got to sit down with ourselves and put things on the scale. Right? If I want to become that successful entrepreneur, think of your 5 next step. I read this book called Your Next 5 Move. Amazing book. I definitely recommend it to anybody who wants to figure out what they want to do in life. And with this book, it was saying you always got to analyze what's going to come next. So if you want to become this successful woman, female entrepreneur, you got to understand there's going to be consequences, and you got to put it on a scale. And you got to put it on a scale in terms of, okay, people are going to say this about me, but then on the other side, what am I going to gain out of it? Oh, well, I can become that confident person I wanted to be. I can become independent. I can make that money that I want. I can create that life I want. Is it worth it? Absolutely. So just go for it.
Yeah.
I don't think people really do that. I think they've shut down, a lot of the ideas that comes to them, being too worried about how people are going to react to it. But why would that matter? Like, the only person you're going to live with for the rest of your life is you.
Yourself, yeah.
Right? These people, we don't know if they're going to be alive for the next 5 to 10 years. We don't know if they're going to be around you. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So just focus on keeping this person inside happy. Once this person inside is happy, and people might think that's selfish, which is really not. When I focus on myself and I'm fully happy and fulfilled, I just have so much love to give to other people.
Just way happier. It's a win-win for everyone.
Just
basically.
way happier. Like, when I'm in a good mood, I send affirmations to my friend. Hey, girl, how's it going? Like, send voice messages, hype their day, like hype their energy, because I'm at my best.
Yeah.
And that's why I need to focus on becoming on my best. And if I wish everybody would have been this selfish, because then the world would have been a better world compared to keep expecting things from other people and waiting for someone else to come and make us happy.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful. I think you can't expect other people to make you happy if you want to happy yourself.
No matter how hard they will try, they can never make you happy. The only person that can make you happy is the one inside. And I learned that the hard way.
Oh wow! I mean, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. No, I mean, it was a good experience at the end of the day. It made me be who I am today. And thankfully, I've heard a lot of people saying now that, oh, you inspired me to learn about finance. Oh, like, you did this or you did that. Or you may change my life or this. And I'm not saying this to brag at all. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you got to feel yourself sometimes.
That I'm still working on. Sometimes my friends say you gotta give credit to yourself. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to sound cocky at times, and I don't like
it's hard
that.
To find the
I don't like to sound arrogant at all, because I'm just not like that. But because I became the person I wanted to be, because I focused on myself to be who I am today, now I have that ability to inspire other people and to give that good to other people. And now that's going to have a domino effect or multiplication, right? Duplication and compound effect. And now I'm going to make the world a better world. And that's why I'm so focused on that, right?
Wow,
changing one person's life at a time.
I think that's truly inspiring. I mean, I think that's insane. I mean,
Thank
just
you.
to wrap up, Donya, is there any regrets you have in life? Just to get in the technicals, is there any regrets you say you have in life, and how can people learn from those? You don't have to go, obviously, make yourself uncomfortable, but yeah.
Any regret in my life? I can say with 100% certainty that no, I don't have any regrets.
That's great.
And that's because I lived my life that way. I always made a decision, and in the back of my head, I said, okay, I want to do this because I never want to regret not doing it later. Or not, I don't want to regret later that why I didn't do it, right? No regrets. Maybe some, like, not disappointments, but maybe some hard lessons that I learned, but then I would have rather to not go through it. But then I'm like,
but it's
isn't that the reason that built me to be who I am? So no, like, if I would have not, if I would have not followed this passion, if I would have just gone to school and just do what everybody else was expecting me to do, then yes, I would have definitely regret my life.
Wow,
but I don't right now, because I give that chance to myself.
Exactly, you gave yourself what you wanted to do. What's one golden nugget you carry on through life?
That makes me me.
Yeah, exactly. That makes you. Or something that's just stuck with you through life, that you're like, you know what, everyone needs to know this.
It was what my mom told me growing up, and I've noticed it when I actually was older, when I was more of an adult, when my mom kept saying that to me. But I'm pretty sure she's been saying that to me since I was a little kid. I just don't remember, because it just sounds familiar, like it resonates with me every time she says it. And that's, you can do anything you want if you set your mind to it. And she's been saying that to me for a long time, and I 1,000% believe in that, because everything that I set my mind to, I have.
That's
Everything.
insane. That's
Or
insane.
I'm on my way there, or I already have. And that's what I would really, please don't stop dreaming. Please come out of this trap thinking that, oh, you're just stuck with what you're doing in your life right now because of this, and how your past has been, and there's no way out. There's always a way out, no matter how old you are. And if you want to change that, if you put your mind into it, you can definitely get there. And that's why I call myself a big dreamer, is because I've got so many big dreams, Hamza,
yeah.
which I know I will get into. Like, I will get to it, no doubt.
I think,
Right?
yeah, exactly. I think that's such a beautiful mindset to have. How do people get to that mindset? Because you know what, like I feel like I got that mindset, and I know people got that mindset, but a lot of people don't. How do they get under this like crippling insecurities, crippling self-doubts? How do you become a big dreamer?
It really goes back to everything that I just said, which is mastering your mind. Like, there is so many things we grew up with, like from when you're born up until 7 years old, everything that you've heard has programmed you to be the person you are today. And I think
Damn.
not a lot of people know that. So it's in the back of our subconscious mind, right? Focus on reprogramming that before anything. Because if you don't fix it now, it's gonna bug you for the rest of your life, right? So you gotta focus on that and create that mindset, create that program you want to have playing in your head, right? Instead of keep hearing, oh, you're not worthy of this, why are you being selfish, oh, you don't deserve this, oh, should I really do this? Instead of having that play in your head all the time, start recording a new play, right? Like like a recording, like a new recording, so that would start playing in your head more and more, and you will get used to it all over time. But everything comes with repetition. People have oftentimes quit so soon because they didn't get the results they wanted by the time they want it, and it just doesn't work like that. So you're gonna believe that whatever you want is coming to you, and just work for it, and just believe in that, and don't doubt it. Because I've heard this before, and I'm gonna end up with that. But I've heard this story before, where this person was saying, "Are you standing on the fear street or on the faith street?" Right? And if you're standing on the faith street, let's say you're really truly hoping and wishing for something, and you're gonna send this good energy or this prayer to God, and then God is making it ready and wants to give it back to you, but then you went to that doubt and self-doubt and fear street, you're not on the wrong address, so that's not going to be delivered to you. And then people oftentimes wonders why they don't get what they want, because you're not where you were when you prayed for it.
Wow.
Right? Stick with it, whatever that is. Oh, I want $1 million. Don't think that that's too much. Right? There are people that are making $1 million in a month. Right? Like, nothing is impossible, and there's people out there that have proved it to you. So what makes it think that you can't get that? Why? Because you don't come from a wealthy family? I don't care. There's so many people I've seen, especially even in my industry, where the person used to sell flowers on an intersection. Now this person became $1 million earner when he was 28 years old. Are you kidding me? If he could do it, why can't you? Why can't I? Why can't everybody? Because of fear. And that needs to change. So focus on that, change that mindset, program it, reprogram it, have your own program, not other people's program, right? Don't focus on what has worked out for other people and what has not. Focus on what you want to make it work. Anything you want to make work, you want to make it work in your life, you can. It's just a matter of consistency and repetition, and just sticking with it, and discipline, and so on, right? And having faith, and just keep going, being hopeful, and having prayers, and being positive. And it's just all comes in a formula, right? So stand or stay on the faith street, right? Don't lose hope, don't lose faith. Become strongly faithful in what you want, and I can guarantee you will have it. And as I'm saying this, like, I can feel this power that everything else that I definitely want, right, is coming, and I know will come, because now I feel it more than ever.
Yeah,
And
wow.
you will get to that point once you figure out who you are, once you stand by that person, once you show that person to the world. Because that's exactly what I did, Hamza, with my Instagram. I stopped thinking of what's going to work and what's not, and I just started being me.
Mm.
And
You just
I blew
banged.
up my
Yeah.
Instagram, right?
Wow.
3,000 followers in like 4 weeks.
That's crazy. Wow.
Four
So the
weeks, four
Instagram's
weeks,
basically
5 weeks.
quite like, yeah, the growth's quite new basically then, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Wow,
just
that's insane.
it's really it's really because of my growth. And that's why I
Mm.
said how you do one thing is how you do everything. When you grow in one category and you just keep being consistent with it, everything else will come hand in hand.
Wow, I mean that story was great. I've never heard that story. That's insane. I'm gonna tell that one. I'm gonna rob that one. I can't lie. So, lastly, what's next for Donya?
For me,
Yeah, what's the journey
ooh,
you got left? What's the
I'm
next
so
chapter?
excited. Well, I haven't really hit my six-figure income yet, so
Mm,
that would be really my next. I that would be my next step, and making sure that the people that are around me that I truly love are gonna be on the same level as me, or
on the come, yeah.
if anything, even higher than me.
Mm,
Because I know them being happy has always made me happier compared to my own achievements.
true
So
friends.
like I literally have experienced, like, a lot of recognitions, but every time I got the recognitions, I didn't feel as fulfilled as I felt when I had someone that who's been working with me or has been trained by me or coached by me got a recognition, because I'm like, that means I did my job right.
Yeah,
Now that I can say that's been an achievement. It's easy. It's so easy for you to win. Are you going to help other people win?
mm,
And that's, I think, would be a true leadership intention. And I
yeah.
think that's what I really want. I want to be a very good leader moving forward. Um,
I think it really goes back to
Definitely,
what you wanted to do, right? When you were little, you wanted to
yeah.
help people. Right now, you're helping
Absolutely,
people.
absolutely, and that's why I say I'm more fulfilled than ever. I breathe everything that I do. I don't do it because of the money. I don't do it, and don't get me wrong. Everybody loves money. I love money, but I
Facts.
don't do it because of the money.
The
I
money's a
do
side
it
income.
because there's so many things that I could do to make money, right? I used to be modeling before because I wanted to be very famous and have that fame. But then
Yeah,
when I learned about myself more, I'm like, okay, but how is that going to affect somebody else's life? I'm not going to really impact a lot of people's
yeah,
life. Me, maybe posing in front of a camera, and I'm not saying that to bring other people down. Don't get me
yeah.
wrong.
No,
It
for
just
sure, for
wasn't
sure.
for me. That
Mm,
wouldn't fulfill me, and that's why I came out of it. But now I'm at a place where I feel fulfilled every time someone tells me, this thing you taught me the other day, now it worked out and I'm so happy, and and that's what I want. So for me, moving forward, really hitting my six figure, I would say, well, I have a goal. So my goal would be making anything over 300,000 in the next 2 years. So I have a number,
yeah, yeah,
which I know I'm going to get into. So that's one. um with that money, I would want to bring my family here as soon as possible, because I
yeah.
want to have
100%.
them around me. That makes me super
Oh yeah,
happy.
for sure.
Traveling more, right? And that's why I said I think my traveling journey now started, because now I'm going to BC tomorrow, and I
Oh,
would have not been in the same position 2 3 years ago to say, yeah, let's
mm,
go to BC. No, I didn't have that in my
yeah,
life, right? So now I have it, and I just cherish it. I'm so grateful that I have that freedom, and my next goal would be really giving the same freedom to people that really desire it, right? And people that really truly want it.
yeah.
um that would be what next. But then there's a lot of other things that I want to do.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I
Yeah.
would say that would be a couple of next steps that I have set, and I have it on my vision board already here.
You have a vision board.
Oh,
Honestly, I'll be
absolutely.
telling people vision boards are so key. Like seeing your goals there and like your steps. I mean, it's king, man. It's
Yeah, I
really
wanted
key.
to put it at home, but I'm like, I'm here like
Yeah.
12 hours a day usually. So it makes sense to just have
Listen,
it here. So
yeah.
I see everything here. There's a Hawaii trip that I gotta win. There is convention we gotta go to, which I cannot wait to cross that stage. Being on the stage this time, not just clapping for other people.
Hey, that's gonna be
So
insane. That's gonna be
right, like
insane.
there's
Yeah.
there's so many things, but mainly making sure that definitely I'm going to take care of my health before anything else, because I need that
Mm,
throughout my journey. I cannot
100%.
sacrifice one thing, guys. You cannot sacrifice in your life is your health.
Mm.
Okay, so please, that would be something I would want to leave you off with. If you think you don't deserve to take time off from work or your business or whatever, please have that 1 to 2 days off a week. It will make
Yeah.
you even more productive,
And it's
even
gonna
more
button you if you don't.
energetic.
Yeah.
Hmm. And that's something that I had to learn again the hard way. But now I have that non-negotiable. Sundays, I'm not gonna work. No matter
Mm.
who you are, $1 million client, I don't care. I'm not gonna work. That's my goal because I know if I work that day, that means
Yeah.
the rest of the week I cannot take off. So it's gonna be crazy, right?
Mm.
So really having your own non-negotiables and making sure that you take care of your health, like that's very important.
Yeah, I think that's key. I mean, if you work all the time as well, you're just gonna end up getting burnt out, I think, as well. So I
Yeah.
mean, but I mean, Donya, it was great talking to you. I think there were so many golden nuggets in that episode. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's the end of this episode. Thanks to Donya for joining us. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
follow at the Brown Hustle. I'll leave Donya's socials as well. Donya, would you like to leave any of your socials, leave any lasting messages or
For sure. People can find me easily. So it's my name, Donya. It just has an extra A and then
mm,
dot Khandaan, my last name. So Donyaa dot Khandaan. Donya Khandaan. So that would be
perfect?
my social media platform that you can definitely follow. And I wanted to also thank you as well. Hamza, like I just hope that this is going to be as helpful as I think it would be for the people in UK.
I think it'll be yeah. I think it will. There's a lot of messages I think that cross over. So many golden
I'm
nuggets.
happy.
So
I'm happy. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And you're an amazing, genuine person yourself. So I'm so happy that
thank
you're
you, thank
holding
you.
this, podcast for people to come on and share their journey with other people because I'm sure there's a lot of people that need to hear it. So
Yeah,
thank you.
I agree. I mean, thank you.